Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new workshop session edition. This time focused on making some money with OneSignal Journeys. Well, maybe that's not the polite way to put it, but generating some revenue with OneSignal Journeys, right? It's a beautiful Wednesday here in London, where I am, but I hope that, well, which is kind of weird to say because it's very sunny. I hope that you're having the same positive vibes wherever you're at. So welcome again to this workshop session, and let's get started. Perfect. All right. So the first thing that we need to do, we're going to separate into the agenda into a couple of main questions that I want to answer before we actually get into the journeys, right? So who do we have here on this workshop? That's the first question that I want to answer. And the second one is, what can we do with what we've got, right? So I really want to explore what do you have, what you are entitled to in OneSignal, so that we can maximize our efforts to generate revenue with OneSignal Journeys, right? Perfect. Okay, so who do we have here? Who do we have here? It's mainly free and growth accounts. So you are all welcome here in this workshop, and probably this was the one you saw at the beginning when you joined OneSignal for the first time, right? So it's important that we identify that we are targeting free and growth accounts, because the journeys that I am going to show you, and the use cases and the journeys that I am going to show you, are mainly for you guys to really use the limited features that you have in OneSignal, so that you can be as successful as possible in generating revenue with journeys, right? Perfect. All right. So we answered the first question, that is, who do we have here? And now we're gonna jump into the second question, right? That is, what do free and growth plans include in OneSignal, right? And we start from top to bottom. So the first, and I always say that this is the most important feature in OneSignal, is data tags, right? So on a free account, you can see that you have 2 data tags available. On a growth account, you have 10 different data tags that you can add in OneSignal. What are data tags? We're gonna see that in more detail in a couple more slides, but just for you to know, this is customized information from your users that you can add into OneSignal, right? So depending on the behaviors, on the actions that your users are taking in your website, let's say they're interested in a specific section of your website, or you could say that they are not achieving like an action in your app, right? We can send this as a data tag so that we can create segments with it, right? So we jump into the second stage, and you can see that the free plan in OneSignal includes 6 segments by default, and the growth plan includes 10 different segments, right? So it's important for us to understand what do we have and how we can use it in a right way in order to generate revenue, right? So after that, we can see that we have active journeys. It's 3, and on the growth plan, and the free account has 1 active journey that also, maybe it sounds like it's too little, but we can be super effective with this journey that we're going to use, right? And we have two message steps for the free account journey, and 6 message steps per journey for the growth plan. All right, so let's go into the basics. What are the basics we need to know in order to succeed? And by succeed, I mean in order to generate revenue with OneSignal Journeys, right? And I mentioned it at the beginning. It's data tags. Data tags are super important, are the foundation of effective messaging, and in order for you to engage with your users. As you can see here in a screenshot at the right, you can see the example of the interest that I mentioned at the beginning, right? So breaking news equals 1. So if this user has shown an interest in breaking news, and this one here also, and this one here also, we can later create a segment of users who are interested in breaking news, right? So we can send a very targeted notification. But going back to the purpose of this workshop, that is generating revenue, these are some examples of the data tags that you can add into OneSignal, right? So premium user equals true or false, right? So we can identify who is paying and who is not. Subscribe user, true or false, right? So if you're like a media or organization and you want to identify who is subscribed to the newsletter, or who is an actual subscriber to your website, you can identify it by that. We have abandoned cart, also a very classic use case. Do we have products that have a product abandoned in the cart? So basically a user who showed interest in a product at one point, but then just left it there in the cart, and we can, maximize our efforts to make them convert. So abandoned cart equals true. They do have a product in the cart. Abandoned cart equals false. It's a user that doesn't have a product in the cart. And we also have the free trial ended, right? It's a very classic use case for subscription-based apps or subscription-based website, where we really want to encourage users to, use the premium features of the app so that they can see the actual value. But then, so that we give them this trial of 7 days, 4 days, or whatever it is that you qualify as a trial, we try to convince them of like missing them, like don't miss them and turn to premium, right? So I also selected some of our partners here in OneSignal, like Mixpanel, Amplitude, AppsFlyer, Segment. If you are using any of these tools and you have already created cohorts or segments in one of these tools, you can bring them like in a very straightforward way into OneSignal. So this is a very like direct way for you guys to have data maybe that you already have in another tool and have it here in OneSignal in order to straightforwardly create segments with it. Okay, so with the data tags, we're going to build segments, right? And this is like, again, the screenshot on the right. You can see that we have the segments and we have subscribed paying users based on the subscribed user is true data tag, right? Or we have the free trial ended users who that is also based on the user tag. Free trial ended is true, same for free plan users, abandoned cart, etc. Right? So it's basically the same. It's using the data type that we have added into OneSignal in order to create these groups of these segments, these groups, in order to target our notifications as much as possible, right? And we can see that the click-through rates increase notoriously when you start using segments in OneSignal, especially when it's by adding data tags and then creating segments with those data tags. Like increased by 52% is definitely something that we need to do. We need to target as much as possible with the notifications that we're going to send. All right, so we're going to jump now into some of the use cases for that, again, for the purpose of this session, that is to generate revenue, right? So some of the use cases, I mentioned this one at the beginning, is abandoned cart, a very classic example, right? And we will see in journeys, I'm going to show you later in the dashboard, that you will have an entry criteria, right? So in this case, it's that they match a segment. So who is going to enter this segment? Those users that have a product abandoned in the cart. In this case, in the last 24 hours, definitely something that you can do, right? So we would pick these segments this segment that we created here, abandoned cart user, and we're going to use it as a entry criteria for the journey, right? And we can send them like immediately a notification reminding them that they have a product in the cart and that they should go and purchase it, right? So what are some tactics that we can use in order to be as effective as possible? So the first thing is personalizing your messages, right? So as you can see here, and you see that don't forget your cart item name. This can be also a data tag, right? Remember that I told you about data tags here? So we can see abandoned cart equals true or false. Well, it doesn't need to be necessarily like a binary thing that is true or false. You can also add personalization tags. Sorry. Oh, in this case, we saw the cart item name equals the name of the product that this user has in the cart. So cart item name equals Ray-Ban, or cart item name equals Adidas sneakers, right? Or cart item name, whatever it is, the product that you are selling, right? So the more we personalize, the more effective we're going to be with the messages that we're going to send. And you can also personalize not only with the name itself, but you can also personalize the image. So in this case, we could bring a data tag called cart item image equals the link to the URL of the image of the product that is abandoned in the cart. Does that make sense? So if we are able to do all of these little things, right? So personalizing with the name of the product, personalizing with the image of the product, and also, as you can see in the third point here, like when they click on the notification directly linked to where the user can complete their purchase, I am 100% sure that we're going to make some good revenue with OneSignal. These are the things, we need to put everything in place so that then this is an automation. It just runs on its own. So this is it's a very good way for you guys to generate revenue with OneSignal Journeys. Another use case, sorry, is trial offers, right? Trial offers and expiration. And here you can see that this beautiful in-app message that you can 100% build in the OneSignal dashboard without the need of any code or anything. It's a drag and drop editor you have in the OneSignal dashboard that allows you to build exactly what you're seeing now. Your trial is over, but it's not too late, right? So as we mentioned earlier, there are subscription-based apps that give this option for the users to try the premium features across a period of time, right? Let's say a week. So when the trial is over, we need to target the users that ended the trial for them to upgrade to premium, right? So we can send this in a message trying to make them move to premium. But also, and I'm going to show you a use case more specific, we can create a journey that goes within all the trial. So if it's a 7-day trial, we can send like 3 or 4 notifications during these 7 days, trying to engage with the user to show them the potential of the premium features that they will miss when the trial is over, So definitely an automated trigger that is based on the trial period so to make them convert. And we will be able to track how many are converting, how many are not. And we can give, an actually revenue number to the journey and say, you know what, this journey is making me X amount of money, which is really cool. Okay. All right. So another example, just added new arrivals. This doesn't need to be necessarily for a e-commerce or retail industry company. It can be for, we're basically playing here with the curiosity, with the psychology of our users, right? So we can show them our new stuff, not only products, but maybe a piece, an article, right? Or some offers that you have. If you're like a fintech, for example, you have an offer on crypto, like what can we show them, that generates this curiosity and that the user can go there and purchase, right? And the second point here is really important, targeting based on the interests. So if we're able to bring data tags to OneSignal based on the interests that the users are having in the app. So let's say, for example, the fintech, this is a user that is interested in I don't know, like in investing or in crypto. We give them the data tag of crypto or investments or saving money, I don't know, and we are able to really target those notifications as much as possible. And last example that I wanted to show you is season pass, right? So this is a kind of like a limited time like example, like a season pass on sale. Just like push notifications are great to kind of like generate that a bit of anxiety in the user of, am I missing something? It's like, so this is a great way for you to target the users that are most likely to take advantage of the offer, right? Again, really based on the data tags that we're going to bring, and so that we can make them purchase a pass for the season. Yeah, perfect. I am going to send you these slides for you to have, because this slide, it's super important, because you can see all of the different use cases that you can use in order to generate revenue with OneSignal, right? So sales, promotions, coupons, seasonal shopping, flash sale, free shipping, free product. Sorry that I'm reading them all, but I think it can definitely trigger ideas or creative side of you guys to start implementing these use cases in OneSignal, right? So in a beautiful world, we could have like one journey per use case in your OneSignal account, right? Probably you would need to move to a a plan that has more journeys in that case, but you can select the one that is the most important here and definitely use it to generate revenue, right? So abandoned cart, price drop, back in stock, recommendations for similar products, recommendations for complementary products, share bestsellers, upgrade reminders, trial offers, hit paid gates, locked features, maybe for a gaming company, re-engage inactive users with incentives, share affiliate links, season pass. Again, I'm going to share the slides here with everyone who is attended today, but so that you can have like a clear idea of what you can do, or the different use cases that you can implement in OneSignal Journeys. Okay, all right, so we're finished with the theoretical approach. Now I am going to move to the actual dashboard, because I want to show you some of these use cases implemented, in the OneSignal dashboard, right? All right, so I'm now in the OneSignal dashboard, and I have built some journeys. Just for you to know, these are journeys that I have seen in other customers that are really being successful, and I have made kind of like a version of these journeys, right? I don't want to, use exactly the same journey of one of my clients, because that would be privacy concerns. But this is a version of it, so. But it's important for you to know that these are real-time, very successful examples that we are showing with you. All right, okay, cool. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is that you can see here in the entrance that we are seeing an example of an abandoned cart for an account that is free. So in this case, we added the data abandoned cart users, we created a segment abandoned cart users, and in the settings of the journey, we selected as an entry rule the abandoned cart users. It's as simple as that, okay? And if we keep scrolling down, then we have the exit rules. And the exit rules, well, the other day I was having a discussion with one of my colleagues, it could be also called or identified as the conversion rate. Right? The exit rule equals the conversion rate. Because why? Because we could say, for example, that the user exit the journey when they meet certain condition, and we could say that they exit when the user no longer matches the audience condition, right? So in this case, if we have abandoned cart users and they enter the journey, but they exit, we could say that it's because they purchased or because they took the product from the cart, right? But the good thing about this is that when you set the journey live, you will be able to see here on the top right, this is my demo account, okay? You can see the journeys report, and the journeys report will show you what percentage of users is exiting early from the total that entered the journey, right? So if we have like a 10% for the abandoned cart journey, so if we have 10% from the 100 enter, but 10% like exit early, it means that you're having a conversion rate of 10%, right? So we can use the exit rule criteria as a conversion rate in order for you to track how much money you're making with the journey. Yeah. All right. So this is the example. Well, I'm going to briefly show you here, like the notification that I'm sending, right? So because you're special, we have a coupon for your product name, right? So we can, as I mentioned before, we can have the name of the product that they have in the cart, and we can send them, for example, a code. So use get my 10 and get 10% of your order, right? And you can see that you can also use GIFs with OneSignal, GIFs or the image of the product, even better, right? So we can definitely personalize as much as possible, right? So in this case, abandoned cart users enter the journey. We wait for 1 hour before sending them a reminder, to go and purchase, and then we send them the notification. Yeah, this is a very simple use case, definitely applicable for the free accounts that we reviewed at the beginning. Remember that the free version only has like a one journey with 2 steps. So in this case, it would definitely apply for someone who is on a free account and wants to generate revenue with OneSignal. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I'm going to jump into the second example, but it's the same use case actually. It's an abandoned cart, but in this case for a growth plan, right? So it has more steps. So you could say it's a little more complex, but at the same time, it's more. It can be more effective, right? But with having these different steps. So same kind of like structure. We have the abandoned cart segment entering the journey. Then we wait 1 hour, and the first thing we're going to do is send one push notification, right? So if we click on the push notification, this is exactly the same push notification that I showed you earlier. But we can, as you can see here, we're going to combine it with an email, right? So we can send a push and an email in order to drive more reach. Okay, and this is an email. I took it, I'm gonna be very honest with you, I took it out of Google. I just Googled like email with a coupon, and this is what I got. So basically it's not the same brand of the push notification, but you can see here it's a very simple email with a call, with the coupon offered and with a call to action, right? So take 10% off. Here is a coupon code just for you. We see the coupon, expires in 5 days, and apply coupon. And when they click in apply coupon, let's focus always in directing them where they are going to actually use the coupon in order to purchase the product that they have abandoned in the cart, right? So we have push notification, 1 hour push notification, an email as well, and then we're going to wait for a couple of days before sending a second reminder, right? But we can see here, if I click in the push notification, that this is another example, right? So there are only a few product name, right? So there are only a few Ray-Bans left in stock, right? Again, generating that sense of anxiety in the user to go back and buy the product. Use your coupon, get my 10, and don't miss this unique offer, right? So this is the push notification, right? And lastly, we have another email. So it's a very simple journey with 1 hour, one push and one email, 2 days, and then one push and an email again, right? And the email it can be literally exactly the same, or you can be and do basically another version of the of this email, but basically with the same purpose. I think that always using like very simple emails with a coupon, or sorry, with a call to action, they can be really effective. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we just saw the abandoned cart for growth, and I'm going to move to another use case of the ones that I mentioned earlier in the slides, right? And this is moving trial users into paid users, right? So what are we going to do here? Is basically we're going to go on the side of the users that are on a trial. So the entry rule here is going to be users who are on a trial, right? So the entry rule, segments of users who have decided to have a trial and test the premium features of our app, right? So in the settings, we already saw the entry rule, trial user, but I'm going to move to the second part. That is the one that I like the most. That is the exit rules, or the conversion, rate that you can have in your journey, right? So what are we going to do here? We're also going to select that the users are going to exit when they meet certain condition. In this case, they're going to exit when the users enter another segment, so that it's premium users, right? So remember at the beginning, I mentioned that we could add the premium user data tag and we could have the free trial ended. So in this case, we are combining both segments to be as effective as possible, and as well to measure success. This is a very good way for you to measure success, because if we have a journey that has 1, 2, 3 messages, if a user sees this message and then enters the premium segment, means that they upgraded from after the trial. It means that we're converting users, right? So it means that a user has actually decided to pay. So why are we going to send them the other messages of the journey, right? We can make them exit early, and at the same time, we can track the exit early criteria. So we can say, 20% of the users who ended the trial have converted into premium users, which is great, right? It's really cool, because we can say like, this journey is making me X money. And it's a fantastic way for you to kind of like make sure that the journey is working, that you're being effective with the strategies that you're putting in place, right? So you're not leaving just the automation there. All right, perfect. So I'm going to show you briefly like some of the notifications that are sent here. So trial user enters, then we wait a day. The first push notification, enjoying the power of augmented reality in the app. Use the code 15% and get 15% discount on the annual premium plan, right? So it's a good way of kind of like trying to secure that your users have the premium features in the long term. So you can add a discount to the annual version. I've also seen customers like giving the option of a lifetime subscription, but for a, like, of course, like a more expensive, like amount, but a lot cheaper than paying month by month forever. If you really like the app, then it's definitely a good option to try to convert them like forever. So yeah, enjoying the power of AR. Then we have 2 days wait node, and then we have a push notification last few days of your free trial. We hope you're enjoying the powers of augmented reality. Code, you only paid £17 for a whole year, right? Then we have a 3-day wait node, and then we send another push notification. Last day of free trial, use the code and pay only £17 for a year, right? Again, you can be as creative as possible. If I click in this plus button, you'll see that it's very intuitive to build. So basically, you can send a message with the blue ones here, or select an action with the yellow one here, right? And you can combine channels, so you can combine push, email, or in-app messages, as I showed you in the slides as well, right? Again, journeys can be used for any of these use cases that I shared you before. It depends on you, on how creative you want to be, and how effective and how effective and how much you want to maximize these different moments in the app, so that they can make revenue for your company, right? OneSignal is a very, very powerful tool, and Journeys, I must say, is my favorite feature of it. So definitely a good way for you to use it and to be as effective as possible. Thank you very much. Well, we are almost on time, 2 minutes away from finishing, but this has been everything that I had for you. I hope this was a very helpful session. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to share the slides, probably the recording as well. I'm going to confirm that with the marketing team, or it's going to be available somewhere, but you will be hearing from us soon. I hope that you can use this powerful feature from OneSignal Journeys in order for you to generate revenue and have happy bosses in the end. Thank you so much for everything. Bye bye. See you.